Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining in. My name is Janice Amiro, and I am the founder of Janice Inspiring Change Holistic Nutrition. My website is janicinspiringchange.com. And as you know, in December, I decided that I was going to do some interviews in the new year, and I was planning on only doing it for the month of January. However, there's been such an overwhelming response with the interviews that I've done, and the interest is phenomenal. So I'm going to keep it going and do an interview a week for the rest of 2021. So welcome again. Thank you so much for joining. And today, my very special guest is Maja. Hi, Maja.
Hi, Janice. Hello, everyone.
So good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me and for this invitation. Thank you very much.
Maja and I are going to talk about endometriosis and her battle with the challenges that she's had with that. So Maja, I'm just going to introduce you a little bit. And I was going to mention too, I was thinking yesterday how we met, because we've known each other since I was living in Qatar. We met there, but through Facebook, I guess it was, you were looking for some kefir grains, and I was making kefir on a regular basis, and I offered you some. So you came and you picked some up, and that's how we met. And we've been friends ever since. So
yes,
yeah.
So the healthy lifestyle brought us together. These are the benefits of healthy lifestyle.
That's right. And you know, it's amazing who you meet in this circle when you know, I guess like-minded people connect, and I guess that's the way the energy flows, like they say.
Or your vibe attracts your tribe.
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah.
So Maja lives in Qatar, and she has agreed to come on and talk about endometriosis. She was struggling for several years with this, and she had other health conditions. She was 18 kg overweight. She had no idea how to cook anything, let alone prepare healthy meals. She said vegetables was just to color the plate a little bit, and just a side of, not really thinking about vegetables. Today, Maja is a certified integrative nutrition health coach, a certified Heal Your Life teacher based on the teachings of Louise L, and she's a raw food chef from the Kenney Culinary Academy. She's also a Pranic healer and a Reiki master. Wow. So many amazing things that you have in your toolbox. So again, welcome so much, Maja.
Thank you so much, Janice. Thank you for inviting me to share my journey and my story.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, you've shared some of your journey with me. So tell us how it was that you came to know or be diagnosed with endometriosis.
Well, first of all, I would really like to encourage all the ladies who are watching this and who are struggling with either endometriosis or any kind of other dis-ease, as Louise Hay would call it. It's really to know that you're not alone. And this is the reason sometimes people struggle with sharing their stories. I've never had that problem because I really think that it can be so powerful and healing when one person shares their own journey and their own experience and what they've been through with someone. And I really believe that even if only one life is transformed or touched by the story, it's already a success. And I really want to kind of encourage women and men, but they're not struggling with endometriosis, but never mind, any kind of dis-ease that they might be facing, is that really the power to heal your life is nowhere but within. So, but this is something that I didn't know 12 years ago when I actually started struggling with my dis-ease. So basically, my first symptoms were, I thought it was a normal state of being in pain. For example, during those days of the month when the women days of the month. So I was thinking that it was totally fine and normal being in pain and suffering. And I thought that when a woman gets her period, it's completely normal that she cannot move, that she cannot walk, that she cannot function, that, you know, I was going, even still, I was still in school. So I would have to take a day or two off, and I really wasn't able to go to school. And I thought it was something very normal that all women were facing. And so basically those were my symptoms. I had a lot of pain, and but you know, women, I mean, human beings, we kind of get used to the pain, and we think, you know, it's just becoming a normal part of our life, and we shouldn't deal with it. And then later on, I actually went to the doctor, and doctor told me that everything was fine. And this was very interesting. So I got all the results, everything was fine, I was healthy, but I was still in so much pain. And 2 months later, a friend of mine was doing Reiki, and she asked me, she said, we need people to practice on. Would you be interested? And I had, at that time, I had lower back pain. And I said, oh, this would be perfect. You can treat my lower back. So I was there, they're treating my lower back, which also can be connected to endometriosis, which at that time I wasn't aware of. Right. So they were treating my back, and then somebody goes, says, do you have any problems with your ovaries and your uterus? I'm like, no, I was, you know, I got the doctor's clean bill of health like only 2 months ago. No way. You should check it again. And then I went like 2-3 weeks later. I went, and there it was. My doctor was like in shock. How come we didn't see this? What's happening here? It was really advanced stage, and it was getting out of control. So the only way out was the operation, the surgery, which I did. And that's actually where my real journey begins.
Right. Wow. Wow. So you had surgery, and did it fix your problem?
No. Well, let me put it this way. It did. Just like any other medicine would fix your problem, it actually fixes the consequence, but not the cause. So right. What the surgery did was it removed the problem, but the actual cause of the problem was not resolved. And actually what's interesting is that doctors told me that there is no cure for endometriosis. So the only way out was either through either me getting pregnant or taking hormones and pills, and this was still not a guarantee that it would not come back. So back then, I really felt so young. Even now, I feel so young to have kids. And back then, so 10 years ago, I was definitely not ready to have a child. So I said, okay, I'll take the therapy, the hormone therapy. And after a year of taking these pills, one day I woke up, and I was married back then. And then I woke up my husband. I was like, we're supposed to have a child. Maybe that would be a better solution. And I said, you know, let's try. And we did. And I got pregnant, and I lost my baby after 3 months. And that's actually when I started thinking, what am I doing with my life? I really, actually, now I know, but back then it kind of made me start thinking more, what am I doing to my body, and how can I expect my body to be in line with nature and produce babies and have children healthy, if I was stuffing my body with chemicals throughout the whole year. And that's where I actually started thinking about it, and that's when I actually took a different path.
Wow, wow. And you know, I'm sorry that you lost a child, because that must have been quite devastating for you, for sure.
Well, I really believe that there is always a higher purpose for everything that happens in our life. Of course, it was not easy, but I really believe that there was a higher purpose to it all. So
Mhm.
it's fine. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's an excellent way to look at the situation, and I guess everyone deals with that differently. So that was your motivation to really get on track. So what? So now you knew what you weren't going to do. So what? How did you move forward to figure out what you um, needed to do, or you had these ideas to do something different? What was your first step?
Well, back then I had no idea, of course, but when we're ready, I think that our just the path opens up and we're given or led in this direction where we're supposed to be heading. So basically, what happened to me, I was clean of endometriosis at that point, uh, and I moved to Qatar, and in 6 months, I put on 8 kilos, which brought me up to 80 kilos. So uh, so in 6 months, putting on 8 kilos was a big change. And I mean, I didn't become aware of it immediately. I became aware of it at one point after these 8 kilos were on. I became aware of it. And it was very funny because I really lived in this in belief that all the sizes here in Qatar, the M and L, were actually made smaller than in Europe, and that's why I couldn't fit. so so yeah, and then when actually I got a dress from Europe that I couldn't fit in, I started thinking that I should do something about it. And you know, just when, well, as I said, when you're ready to make a change, a path appears. And I remember I was taking a holiday and I had no idea what I was going to do, but I was asking for guidance and something, you know, because I had no idea how to get back on the track. And I remember I signed up for raw food detox. And this was so funny because I went there, I did some research, but I didn't do thorough research. So I said, oh, this should be fine. Some vegetables and nice diet and 3 times a day exercises. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Some meditation, great. So I go off, and then when I got there, I realized what actually raw detox was for me. I never ever had vegetables for meal. It was mainly meat, some junk food, which was my favorite, and vegetables were really decoration on my plate. So there I am in Thailand on a detox, 13 days, eating only vegetables, raw vegetables. But this really changed my life. So that's where I discovered the power of raw food and how delicious it is. And I mean, my favorite food is still pizza, but but I realized that also raw food is great.
I just a little side note. I think that you're referring to the same place that I went to, because you recommended that place to me, and if ever anyone can get back to Thailand, I highly recommend Phuket Cleanse because it was fantastic. But we all get something different from that, depending on where we are in our wellness journey. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning for you. And when those 12 days, 13 days were over and you went back to Qatar, what did you do then? Did you keep that going, or did you revert back to what you were doing before? And how did you put it all together?
Well, what I really usually, how I would live my life, or how I would do it in my everyday life, is I would very, very often go back to my old habits. And I love junk food, and I was never a sporty type. And so these, all these unhealthy habits, this was me. But because I put on so much weight, and I couldn't move. I mean, it wasn't showing that much, but I felt it, and I couldn't really move, and or I felt I couldn't wear my clothes. And I remember after Thailand, or I remember first when in the morning we would start off the day with juices, and then after the juices we go off for our Muay Thai or hot yoga. And first day I thought that there was no way I could survive those two workouts only on juices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I discovered was the amazing energy that I felt, and the clarity of mind that I felt when I was actually taking in those juices and not eating the food that I was eating before. So being aware of this and experiencing this actually made my transition much smoother. So when I came back to Qatar, and this was like 8-9 years ago, nowadays we really have a lot of things to do, and we have restaurants, raw food and healthy options. But back then it was much more, it wasn't, you couldn't find it so easily. And I remember I immediately signed up for a program just to keep me on track. And very soon I started also attending the Raw Food Academy, the Matthew Kenney ones, the courses, and that's how I kept myself on the track. Yeah.
Right. So you were able to keep on track with your diet. So can you share with us, because of the certification you have with Heal Your Life, did that can you explain first of all how you used those teachings to help you with your situation, with your condition? Because that's more about the mindset. The food was happening. You were under control with the food. So tell us about how you had to work with your mind to get forward.
Well, I have to really say that I consider my condition, endometriosis, as a condition. I really consider it a friend today. So I do not consider it a threat or an enemy like I used to in the beginning. I really consider it as a friend who is there to kind of help me realize that I'm not on a good track. This is first thing. Second thing, I want to say that despite the fact that I'm a raw food chef and Louise Hay coach and health coach and Reiki master and everything else, despite all that, I'm still a human being. And, I still have my ups and downs. And I think it's completely normal and natural that we all do. But this is what people usually, when they're going through any kind of changes or any kind of conditions or any kind of dis-ease, they're kind of beating themselves up for it and saying, you know, they're criticizing them and they're punishing themselves. Why? Or how can I not? Or how can I do this? And whatnot. And I really want to say this because we often do criticize ourselves for not, you know, for not eating healthy. And even though we might have all the theoretical knowledge, we're not putting it in practice. And this is, for example, where you helped me as well stay on track, not only once, but several times. So it's not a bad idea to ask for help, and it's always a good idea to ask someone to support you, even though you know what this person is going to tell you. So you know what you're not supposed to be eating. It's still good to get yourself support to kind of, you know, hold you by your hand through this process and make it easier on you. So this is what I really wanted to point out, because, you know, we think, and also what happens to coaches and practitioners is like they sometimes do not ask for help because, you know, how would it be seen? Yes. And also it happened to me that some of my friends would tell me, but you're a health coach, how can you do this? Or I remember the question, what's the point of you doing all this if you're still feeling sad and if you're crying? But, you know, this is not the point. The point is actually to experience all these feelings and go through the journey and not, you know, not having a problem of asking support and help. Yeah. And, you know, also I think it's good to actually experiment with your own situation, with your own health, which is what I did. So, for example, my endometriosis, my friend endometriosis was coming back on several occasions, and I was actually experimenting, and it was like a research. So first time that it happened, it was very medical, conventional, by the book. Second time it happened, I already had most of my tools in my hands, and I was saying, okay, universe has given me endometriosis to prove that I can actually heal it naturally. And I took it seriously because I freaked out when I realized that I had it again, and I took it seriously. And within 3 months of I was very disciplined and I was very committed to healing it. I healed it within 3 months. And then some time passed by, and then it happened again. But that time I was experimenting. Let's see, what is it actually that works? Is it only food? Is it only energy work? Or is it the mind work? So I was experimenting a little bit with everything, and I realized that actually the only thing, in my case, the only thing that worked the most, and or I can say the most efficient thing that healed my condition, was when I changed my thoughts and my emotions. And then I think that all three components overlap, and they are very important and crucial. And this is why I really believe that, and I strongly I strongly believe that our human body cannot be looked at only from one perspective, but from different aspects. And it's definitely the energy aspect, the physical body, and then definitely the emotional body. So
well, it's that mind, body, spirit connection. Yes. That you know, a lot of people know that term, but they don't really understand what it means to them, and that's why it's but we need to understand that it's not just the diet, it's not just the mind, it's the complete picture and the connection of all three together that will allow for the to get past the illness.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Yeah, so I this is what I managed to pull out of my experiment, and actually this experiment fortunately happened twice more, so I could test my whole assumption.
Theory,
And
yeah.
and yes, and that I could prove it. And yes, so the minute that I started brainwashing my brain, my thoughts and emotions, this is when actually healing started to take part. And also what I figured out through my through my journey with endometriosis is that whenever I was dealing with some kind of a stressful situation, or when I was not aligned with myself, with my inner call, with my inner calling, with my inner feeling for life, this is when endometriosis would come, would show up, and it would be like an alarm. Are you aligned? Are you in line with what you want to do, with what you want to achieve, or whatever area of life we are struggling with?
And we hear a lot about this, identifying with your true self, work at a job that you love. And I know that's not easy for a lot of people. But and if you can't work at a job that you love, at least have a hobby that you look forward to doing every day, that's your true passion, because that's where you will, surprisingly, a lot of aches and pains and issues physically will just go away when we're in our zone of doing what we love. And until you try that, you may not, people don't tend to believe it, but it is definitely the case. And stress is at the root of all of our health problems. There is an underlying condition or an underlying root cause to everything that we are physically complain about or physically have going on. There's an underlying root cause, and that is that's a stressor. So what you have done is you've not only explored the food component, the energy component, but the mind component, and what that, and you saw from doing that the difference of how you were feeling with your condition.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
So Maja, have you found that, so you say, you've gone through this journey a few times, and you mentioned that you did get some support from me, maybe some other coaches as well. I think I remember we had a really great talk about bread, and
Oh, my
yeah,
pain. This is my pain.
yes, exactly. And I think I was, I mentioned how you can make some gluten-free crepes, and you were so thankful because that was allowing you to at least have something that you felt was like a sandwich, or some type of bread. But so throughout your journey of kind of going up and down, if we will say that way, what has been, has there been a constant kind of challenge that has kept you, has steered you away, steered you away from being on that really good kind of even keel, and so kind of maybe brought you low a little, and then you look and you think, okay, I gotta rein it in a little? Is there something that has kind of interfered, and something that's a regular thing that interferes is with what you're trying to do?
Oh yes, all the time. All the time. And this is what is also human, and what is also, I think, natural, is that, for example, for me, what was surprising is that with all the knowledge that I have, in terms of food, in terms of mind work, energy work, lifestyle, everything, what was surprising for me was that with all this knowledge, I still find myself cheating with food, with thoughts, and with all these things. And that's, I think, it's fine. It's totally fine, as long as we are conscious and as long as we are aware of it. And I at one point in the very beginning, I would be freaking out and I would be thinking, how can you do it? Or you shouldn't be doing this or that. But then later on, I kind of embraced it and I started accepting it and saying, okay, it's great. This is where you are. This is where you are now. Everything will be fine. You will need some junk food, eat some junk food, but then later you'll pay for it. But it's okay, you know, this is our life. This is how it goes, up and down. What I did realize, and if I was to summarize the whole healing process and the whole healing journey in one word, what I would say this word would be is joy. Joy. So I think that when you know, it's easy to say live your life, be your true self according to yourself, but what is your true self, and who are you? We don't know that because we've never learned this in our life. We're always learning. We were always taught to either act by rules or by, you know, society, what they're expecting from us, or this or that, or whoever, or so many expectations, and we kind of silence the voice inside of us, and even we don't know who we really are. So I kind of figured out that the best way to realize um, what what heals me is what brings me joy. So for example, the reason why I'm saying this is whatever I do during the day, I try to find joy in whatever I'm doing. And when I'm doing something that I'm really joyful about, that I'm feeling fulfilled, you're vibrating on a different frequency where junk food is not an option. It doesn't even cross your mind. I mean, it does sound funny and it might sound crazy to some people, but when you're feeling happy and fulfilled and joyful, whenever I was feeling like that, I never craved pizza or burgers or anything else. So if I had to say in one word, what would it be? It would definitely be joy, and a key to a happy and healthy life.
So there you have it. You need to find joy. For the listeners, find joy in your life and find out what really truly makes you vibrate on a higher level. And with that, it's so true that when you're at that level, you don't desire the things that could be damaging to you. It's strange how it is, but you don't desire those things anymore. When you're at that level, you're it's kind of like putting, and I use this example a lot. It's kind of like using you have a Ferrari and you're putting the low grade fuel in it. As soon as and if you're doing that, you're not going to get a very good performance from your Ferrari. If you put the top of the line fuel in it, your Ferrari is going to run the smoothest you've ever seen it. It's going to go fast. It's going to do exactly what it was built to do. So when you're running at that level, why would you ever want to go back to, you know, the lower quality fuel? And that's exactly what you're talking about there. Yeah, it's so powerful, and until you try it, that's the challenge for a lot of people. They can't really get past that because of maybe it's the bread, or maybe it's the, you know, the pizza, the burgers, whatever it might be. It's those food addictions that can stop us from getting to that point of performing at that optimum level. And then when you've done that, if you decide one day to have, you know, put in some low grade fuel, then it's a choice and you can accept it, and then tomorrow's a new day and move on. And when we can get that balance, that's great. Yeah. And still feel the joy though.
And I also noticed that whenever we're eating food that's not really serving us, it's usually we're trying to fill the void inside. So
Yeah.
basically, even the food that we're eating or the amount of food that we're putting in our body is actually a reflection of our inner state.
Yeah.
So if we are not feeling fulfilled within, this is where we're trying to find the fulfillment outside and trying to replace this with the food.
Yeah, to fill that void. And that brings me to the triggers that happen. And you know, we tend to blame stress on the reason we choose maybe some not so healthy options. But what is the trigger? Why is the trigger is the stress, but why does that cause the connection with the food? And that's where we really have to look deep within to see what is the emotion that we're trying to manage when we go for that, whatever it might be. And I think with the practices that you have with Louise's work, that's where you can really dig deep and investigate your own
Yes.
your own mind. Yeah. Yeah. So so Maja, so we've already talked for our over 30 minutes. Imagine that. And it's so great to chat with you. So how I want to ask how you're feeling. How are you feeling now, and what it is that how do you see yourself moving forward with this condition? How are you feeling about it? And where are you going?
Well, I think that my friend endometriosis is kind of keeping me always, alert. So whenever I fall off my track, it's there to wake me up and to kind of reroute me on my healthy path. And it's an ongoing process. I mean, it's something that this is our lifestyle, and healing your life cannot be a one shot thing and then we're done with it and that's it. Now I can go back to my old lifestyle. If we are looking at healing our life naturally and looking at the holistic approach to our health, then we really need to look at it from a lifestyle perspective, where we're not only looking at a temporary solution, but we're actually changing our lifestyle. And by changing this lifestyle, we're actually maintaining the healthy condition. So it's a challenge, definitely. And I mean, I'm talking from my point of view, because I really struggled, and in the beginning I didn't struggle as much, because in the beginning I was determined to heal my body, to figure out why, how, and I was really dedicated to figuring out what's going on. And then once I figured it out, and now I'm completely at ease, and I'm thinking, well, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know what I'm supposed to be eating. I know exactly when I'm going to get my endometriosis back. And now I'm just laid back and I'm thinking, I know what to do. I'm not in a hurry. And this is not good in a way, because in the beginning, when I was more afraid and when I was thinking, okay, this is now serious, I need to get down to it and deal with it and get it over with, I healed it in 3 months. But then when I started experimenting, it's just taking it easy. So, but that's life, that's challenge, going up and down. It's a journey, but definitely it's our whole life project, and it's really our life's the most important project in our life. It's this, and as in every other project, we have our ups and downs. So this is the same.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you've shared that, because you said at one point about you know, because you're a practitioner and you help coach other people, that people expect you to be perfect. And that's, you know, that's the same for me. My journey started in, you know, I was at the bottom, and I crawled and scraped my way back up to be able to just function like a normal human being, you know. But along the way, I make changes, and it's never. I'm always trying to adjust and perfect, and you know, we have downsides. We have, you know, weekends maybe that don't go so well, and we eat something we prefer that we don't. But when you, like you say, you know, it's a lifestyle, it's change. And when you're constantly making the lifestyle changes and staying on a upper level more than on the down, then it's working. It's working for us. You're able to achieve what you set out to do. And along the way, you tweak and adjust and improve. And then, you know, it's up and down. Life is up and down. And we live in this modern world, and we have to go with what we have to live as well. So healthy lifestyle isn't perfect lifestyle. It's healthier maybe than we were. I'm always striving to be healthier as I move forward in my years. So Maja, is there anything else that you would like to say to the audience? Anything that you'd like to share that we didn't discuss today? And I'd also like you to share how people can get in touch with you if our conversation has resonated with some of the viewers, and anyone would like to contact you, how we could do that.
Yeah, so as you know, I used to have a platform called Happy and Healthy by Maja, where I was offering all these services, the whole package of raw food, meals, meal plans, and the whole Louise L sessions and Pranic healing and Reiki. But now that I'm not doing it anymore, my only social media platform is the Instagram account, where I'm not really very active in terms of Happy and Healthy by Maja. All these techniques and everything, but if anyone wishes to contact me for any reason, I'm always happy to get on a call, discuss, help. I've done it so many times, and I'm happy to do it. The Happy and Healthy by Maja, even though the platform is closed down, my website and the whole idea of these packages and support is not operating anymore, but it's still there. And I am preparing a new thing which will be coming out soon, and it's going to be a bit different from what it was before, but it's still supporting mainly women, but supporting mainly women in actually in their life, in their careers. And really what my punchline is, being the queen of your own queendom, meaning that really we need to become aware that the power is within, and that we really do have the power over our lives, over our health, over what we do. If nothing, we have a power of decision, how we want to live or what we want to feel for certain situation, or towards certain person, or towards a certain thing. So the idea of this whole new project that I'm preparing now, it's going to be again supporting women in becoming aware of their power.
Well, that's a great, I'm so happy to hear that there's some project in the works. I don't know what it is, but I'll be learning as you go. And but I think it's a really good way to end our conversation, Maja, to say that the one thing that, you know, if the viewers can the takeaway is to truly believe that the power is within you to heal yourself, to better your health, to better your situation. You hold the power, no one else. And that's maybe some food for thought for the viewers, is to just to remember you hold the power. And if you're not sure what that means, or where to go from there, then reach out for some support.
Yes.
I'm here, Maya's here. There's all kinds of us doing what we do that that will help guide you through the next steps in what it is that you want to achieve. So thank you again, Maya, for joining me today. And
Thank you, Janice. And definitely never, I just want to add that it's not embarrassing to ask for help. And we're all here to support each other on this journey. And it's not easy, it's challenging sometimes. But then in the end, the rewards are amazing. And, you know, we cannot do it alone. Also, the project that I'm working on, I'm not going to be alone. There are women there. We join our hands and we're actually there to support each other, help each other. And I mean, life is much easier and much more beautiful when we do that, when we help each other. But the power is definitely within.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been tuning in to the 13th episode of Inspiring Change 2021. My name is Janice Amiro, and I'm the founder of Janice Inspiring Change Holistic Nutrition. I'll be doing another episode next week, so I'll be posting the details about that soon. And my website is janiceinspiringchange.com if you'd like to get in touch. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.